What scared you into changing your entire life? The evil guy in our neighborhood who wanted to unalive my dog. My dog's name was Max. He was a pit mix, scarred up from whatever had happened before he came to us. He didn't like loud voices or sudden movements, but he liked me. My mom and I found him behind a dumpster in the middle of January, shaking and too tired to run when we brought out food. It took him a while to trust us. At first, he wouldn't even let us touch him, but slowly he started realizing that we were good people who wanted to help him. The day he jumped onto my bed and fell asleep with his nose in my armpit, I thought my heart would explode. That spring, Mr. Lindell moved in next door. He wore shiny shoes to water his grass, and once told my mom that kids and canines should both be leashed, and he really didn't like Max. He growls, Lindell said one day. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. I said, maybe he growls at you because you talk like a bad guy in a cartoon. But he said, if you don't want your mutt to get hurt, I'd watch your mouth. My mom told me not to talk to Mr. Lindell anymore, but then one morning I was out in the yard with Max, and he ran over to the fence all excited. I followed him and saw him scarfing down a piece of steak. I took it from him and realized it smelled weird, like how the pool smells right after they've added all the chemicals. I brought it into my mom and she froze and told me to wash my hands right away. Then we rushed Max to the vet. He was already starting to whimper and throw up in the car. Mom and I were both crying, and when Max started having seizures, I thought my whole world was going to end right there. We ran him into the vet and they told us he was poisoned. They pumped his stomach and told us he was going to be okay, but that if we'd gotten there even 10 minutes later, it would have been too late. I cried so hard the receptionist gave me 2 free lollipops and a coloring book. Max looked so small on that table, and I held his paw like he would disappear if I let go. When we got home, my mom confronted Lindell. He stood there smirking and said, if your dog wants to die so bad, who am I to get in the way? After that, we bought cameras for our yard, and a week later, we caught him spraying something through the slats in the fence. We went to the police and showed them, but they just shrugged and said he was allowed to spray his own house. We didn't know what we were going to do, but then Lindell took it even further. He showed up at a community meeting and said, we need to ban dangerous breeds before a child ends up dead. He pointed at a photo of Max napping with my baby cousin. That animal will snap eventually. They always do. He had all these articles about pit bulls and he passed them out to the committee and it worked. The council voted to remove all pit bulls from our neighborhood. We had 14 days to get rid of Max forever, or we would be homeless. My mom called lawyers and landlords to see if we had any options, but we couldn't find anywhere within 50 miles where we could live with Max. I sat out on the porch, hugging Max and crying, and Lindell came out and smirked at me. He said, better say goodbye now, sweetheart. Maybe next time your mommy will buy you a hamster. That night, Mom told me to pack up my stuff. It was just me, Mom, Max, and whatever fit in the car. We left everything else behind and drove 4 states over to my aunt's house. She had a backyard the size of a football field and let Max run wild. We lived in her camper for a while. I got homeschooled and helped her with the chickens, and Mom had a job doing something with stocks on the internet. 6 months later, we got a letter from our old HOA. They'd found evidence that Lindell was faking the animal control complaints and were in the process of investigating, but then Lindell died in his sleep. They said me and Mom and Max could all come home. I told my friends at my old school and they all begged me to come back. Mom even talked to her old boss and they said she could have her job back. But that afternoon, I watched Max chase a butterfly so far into the woods that I couldn't even see him for a minute. Then he came sprinting back, tail up and tongue out, so happy. I looked at Mom and said, I don't want to go back. She smiled and said, good, because neither do I.